So a lot of people don't seem to be happy with Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Dr. Doom, and it seems like the criticism behind it is that it comes off like a desperate move from Marvel, and that it seems to be a mistake to introduce Victor Von Doom or Dr. Doom. We don't know if it's we don't know, we don't have all the details yet, but basically people want it to be Victor Von Doom from the comics, not a Tony Stark variant. Now, I understand that completely. I wanted to give my thoughts on this. First of all, yes, there is no doubt in my mind that this was a desperate move from Marvel. When it comes to Avengers 5 and 6, there have been issues with finding a director and a writer going back years. They announced the films. Originally, it was going to be Kang Dynasty, then Secret Wars. But they announced them, and we heard all kinds of rumors about who was going to write and direct. And then it changed, and so on and so forth. And the whole time, I'm thinking, well, bring back the Russos. I mean, they did the two best Avengers movies and the two best Captain America movies. Literally 4 of the best films in the entirety of the MCU. Like, they're probably on everyone's top 10 list of MCU films. Certainly on mine. So it makes sense, and they're familiar with the characters, the product, and the actors. How many times have the Russos worked with Robert Downey Jr.? So, I don't see... Okay, yes, it's a desperate move. They've had issues. The Jonathan Majors controversy was another issue. Kang the Conqueror, even though low-key did a pretty good job, just did not connect with fans as a villain. It could be because of the Majors controversy. It could be because he wasn't built up properly. It could be because he lost to Ant-Man in his first appearance in the movie. There's lots of theories as to why it happened this way, but it definitely happened this way. Kang the Conqueror never had the hype behind him that Thanos had after that first mid-credit scene going back to Avengers. But you have to also remember that The Avengers was the 5th MCU movie. We're way past that. So obviously there's the law of diminishing returns, and it's hard to top Thanos. I mean, let's be honest, it is hard to top him as a villain. With that being said, though, I understand that fans see it as desperation. I completely agree with that, but why is that a bad thing? They recognize that Phase 4 and Phase 5 were bad. They made a lot of mistakes, such as putting too many Disney Plus shows out, thanks to Bob Chapek, shifting movies around, not really writing the best stories, and approving scripts that were bad. Just all the rewrites they did with movies like The Marvels, which was doomed anyways, and Secret Invasion. It really felt like they kind of fell asleep at the wheel. So now their whole idea is, let's bring back the writer of your favorite Avengers movie. Let's bring back the directors of the best Avengers movies. And let's bring back the guy who kind of made this whole thing work. And that's Robert Downey Jr. Yes, it's a desperate move, but I don't see it as a bad thing. I actually see it as a good thing because it shows that they... Unlike Star Wars, think about this. Compare Kevin Feige to Kathleen Kennedy. Unlike Star Wars, Kevin Feige recognized that there was a problem. He didn't blame the fans. He didn't call the fans, angry, sexist white males. He didn't pull that crap. He said, okay, we've got issues. This multiversal storyline is not working the way we want. Kang is not working the way we want. Major's got in trouble. We're going to have to course correct, and we're going to have to bring in Doom, which was already a thing they were probably going to do anyways. We're going to have to build Avengers 5 around Dr. Doom. So, I see it more so as a positive, because it shows that Feige is listening, and that he recognizes that there are problems that need to be addressed, and he addressed them. Now, when it comes to the whole Victor Von Doom thing, I made a video addressing this a few days ago. Well, it was early Sunday morning, yesterday. And in the video, I discussed the different ways they could take it. Tony Stark's variant, or vice versa, Victor Von Doom's variant might actually be Tony Stark. And in the universe that Dr. Doom comes from, clearly it's not Robert Downey Jr. Oh, I'm sorry, clearly it's not Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr. So either Tony Stark exists in that universe played by a different actor with a different face, totally. Maybe Tom Cruise, which was the rumor for a long time. People thought we were going to get in a multiverse of madness. But instead, Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, will be played by Robert Downey Jr. However, I do not think that Kevin Feige is dumb enough to just erase the original story of Victor Von Doom. Dr. Doom is a very popular villain, and a lot of fans want him in. I don't think that's what's going on here. I genuinely believe that the Dr. Doom that will be played by Robert Downey Jr. is a variant of both Tony Stark and possibly even Victor Von Doom, the real one, and that the real Victor Von Doom that's going to remain as Dr. Doom, maybe even beyond Secret Wars, which I hope they do because Dr. Doom should be in multiple movies. I think that will be played by a different actor. That's my guess. I highly doubt they're just going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. just to draw an audience. That's the biggest reason they're bringing him back. But I don't think he's going to be playing Dr. Doom the entire time. I think he's a variant. Now that we've seen so many different variants, different actors. I mean, we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine somebody else play Wolverine for one scene. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen the movie. But what I'm saying is this is commonplace. Not to mention that the Marvel Comics does this type of stuff all the time. There's always variants and what-if storylines where you have a good version of Thanos, a good version of Kang the Conqueror, an evil version of Tony Stark. There's always sort of these variants that cause problems for the main heroes. So again, if you're a fan of the comics, I understand being worried that Tony Stark will be Dr. Doom and not Victor Von Doom, but I wouldn't worry because I don't think they're that dumb. I think this is being done to have everybody say, oh wow, Robert Downey's back. What's this going to lead to? Where is this going? Is this going to be Iron Man? I mean, for all intents and purposes, in Secret Wars, we might see Robert Downey playing Iron Man from a variant universe and Dr. Doom fighting each other. In fact, I'll bet that will happen. I'll put money on that. So, I think people got to calm down and let them cook. Yes, they fucked up with Phase 4 and parts of Phase 5, but let's see what they have to offer, because Robert Downey Jr. proved in Oppenheimer and other movies, but specifically that one where he won the damn Academy Award, that he can play a villain and do it well, and he will always be attached to the MCU in one way or another. This is more of a stronger attachment, him coming back. I, for one, am excited because all this tells us is that they understand there's problems, they're addressing it, and even if it's not everything that you want, at least the fact that they're willing to accept that they made mistakes is an important thing, and it creates equity in the eyes of the fans. So, those are my thoughts. Yes, it's a desperate move, but I'd rather that than them continuing to try to work over a storyline that's not going to work. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.